Hello and welcome back to another episode of Handloader TV. I'm your host, Jeremiah. And in this episode, we wanted to do something just a little bit different. We cover a lot of load development techniques and a lot of different cartridges, a lot of different rifles, hand loading products. And today we wanted to do something just a little bit different and take a look at one of the essential components to a rifle, and that is the stock. In particular, we wanted to take a look at some of the Boyds hardwood gun stocks that we have here. I've had both of these stocks for a very long time, and I've been a big fan of them. I like the ergonomics of them, and so we thought we'd have a little bit of fun taking a deep dive into these stocks, shoot some steel, and just have a good time. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the rifles we have before us with these stocks on it, and we'll dive into the details of them. The first rifle we have here is a HOWA 1500 chambered in 6.5 Creedmoor, and it's featuring the Boyds Agility gun stock on there, and we'll talk about that separately in just a moment. Features a 3-position safety, the hacked trigger, which breaks at about 4.5 pounds, 4.5 pounds on this particular rifle. 22-inch barrel that is 1 1/8 twist. So a really nice rifle. To top this rifle off, we have an Athlon Midas BTR Gen 2 4.5 to 27 by 50 millimeter optic. It is parallax adjustable and illuminated as well, and features exposed turrets for quick and easy dialing. Overall, I really enjoy this rifle, and I do a lot of bench rest shooting with it. It helps me practice my technique and that kind of stuff. So having a stock that fits me well is pretty important for this particular rifle. I learned a lot shooting off the bench with this rifle, and early on it was featured in a video we did on the HSM low recoil 6.5 Creedmoor ammunition, and it had just the factory Hogue stock, which I had to build up quite a bit on the back here for a proper cheek weld. I had a little butt cuff on there with ammunition and all that kind of stuff. So since then, I've swapped it out for this Boyds Agility gun stock, which features adjustable length of pull and an adjustable cheek piece here, so you can set that to match your optic height, which is really, really nice. This particular optic sits just a little bit high because of the 20 MOA Picatinny rail on there and the height of the rings. So it fits me really nice. It's a joy to shoot. It's very comfortable. And the nice thing about the Boyd stocks is they're all laminated hardwood. So they're very rigid overall, very durable. And in addition to that, they're completely customizable. So you can add any number of options. You can pick the color you want. You can add checkering, add where you want your sling swivels, all kinds of different things depending on the model of the stock. So having that versatility is really great. And it's a lot of fun to go on their website and just kind of build out a couple stocks and see what you like and think about it, what you want to put on your own rifle. This particular one I added for some checkering. I also added the ebony fore-end cap here, which I think looks really sharp. Overall, I just think it's really nice. Some nice checkering on the bottom of this rifle as well. And one thing that I really like about these Boyd stocks is they tend to ride the bags really nice. They have a nice wide flat fore-end, which is very beneficial when you're in the bench rest shooting position and you're trying to achieve the smallest groups possible, which is really what we're all about here at Handloader TV. So then the other rifle we have here is a more recent Boyd stock edition. This is my Ruger American Predator, chambered in 223 Remington. Really like this rifle. I've taken quite a few coyotes with it over the years. It has a 22-inch barrel, which I believe is 1 1/8 twist with an AAC 51 tooth flash suppressor on here. So if I want to add my AAC 762 SD suppressor, I can do so rapidly. The optic I have currently mounted on here is a front focal plane Leupold VX3 4.5 to 14 by 50, and it has a nice Christmas tree reticle in there, and it's actually a mill scope and features adjustable parallax as well. It's held in place by Leupold PRW2 rings. Big fan of those as well. So overall, it's a very nice rifle. The stock itself that it's sporting is the Boyds @1 gun stock, which offers a little bit more versatility than the Agility stock here. It's adjustable length of pull, adjustable cheek piece here, but then it also has QD cups on both sides of the stock, so you can add quick release sling swivels. The grip panels here are replaceable at the grip or wrist and the forend as well. So you can actually widen the forend some more if you so desire, which is a nice feature, a very versatile stock overall. One other thing that I want to point out is that their cheek piece here actually has some rubber on it, and it creates a very comfortable and nice cheek weld. And if I had to do this all over again, I would probably swap. I would probably put the 6.5 Creedmoor in the @1 stock and the 223 Remington in the agility stock. And the main reason for that is I can maintain my cheek weld a whole lot better on this rubberized cheek riser than I can on this stock. But that's just a minor thing, and that was my own fault for not picking the right stock. So we're here to educate you and hopefully help you pick out a stock if you so desire. So overall, these rifles are really nice. They shoot really well. And it's this time of year that it's rather windy outside. It's nasty. It gets really gusty. The other day we had 30-mile-an-hour winds at the shooting position. So it makes it really tough to shoot small groups. So rather than shooting at paper, we're going to go ahead and hit that range, and we're going to shoot some steel and just kind of have fun with this video and talk about the ergonomics and how these rifles feel on the bench, from the prone position, and things of that nature. So let's go ahead and take these guys, some hand loads, and we'll hit the range. So we're out here on the range right now, and currently, according to the Kestrel 5700, the temperature is 72 degrees Fahrenheit, humidity is 20%, and pressure when adjusted for altitude is 30.20 in Hg. And we've got quite a bit of wind today. It's not a good day for shooting small groups, that's for sure. It's blowing at about the 10 o'clock position at the bench at about 12 to 15 miles an hour. And downrange, it's blowing at the 9 o'clock position at about the same speed, roughly. We have a brand new chronograph here, the Garmin 0C1 Pro chronograph, set up on this side of the bench here to record our velocities and whatnot. And we've got a steel plate downrange because we're just really testing the ergonomics and how the stock feels. And quite frankly, today's not a good day to be shooting groups anyway. So we're just going to have a little bit of fun, shoot some steel, maybe some different positions, different rifles with Boyds stocks on it, and yeah, then I'll give you my thoughts at the end. But for now, let's go ahead and get settled in and do some shooting. All right, got our wind here, 100 yards, not very far, but worth noting. Let's see if we can put a round on the steel. That's nice and centered. Decent velocity. Load I'm using is 35 grains of varget, Starline cases. Overall loaded length of 2.800 inches. CCI BR2 primers. Yeah, that feels real nice. Shoot a couple more. The stock rides the bags really nice. A little bit wider forend than what was on this from the factory. It had a Hogue stock, which there was nothing wrong with that stock, but this one's definitely more ergonomic. You've got adjustable length of poles, so it fits me perfectly. You've got an adjustable cheek piece, and that's especially nice with this setup because I currently have this Athlon Midas BTR Gen 2 4.5 to 27 by 50 optic on it, and it's in tally rings that are just a little bit high, so having an adjustable cheek piece is really nice. Let's shoot a couple more. Very nice. Overall, it feels really nice. The recoil pad, in spite of it being rather thin, it is pretty soft. And not that 6.5 Creedmoor recoils too much, but it does feel very comfortable, very pleasant to shoot, and it fits into the pocket of my shoulder very nicely. But we'll talk about more as we get back to the bench and out of this confounded wind. For now, let's go ahead and swap over to our other rifle. So we've got the Ruger American benched in, magazines loaded, chambers empty for now, chronograph set up to record, steel plate at 100 yards. We've got 8 rounds in the magazine. Wind is still very, very choppy. Right now it's blowing currently about 15 miles an hour. Gusts are up to about 20 miles an hour right now. That's 19.7 right there. So it's real choppy, real inconsistent wind, but at 100 yards, it shouldn't matter too much, even with the 223. So let's settle in and plink some steel, have some fun. Load I'm using here, using a 75 grain Hornady hollow point boat tail match style bullet. Using H4895 powder. Oh yeah, that is very ergonomic, very comfortable. I especially like the rubber cheek piece here. I noticed that my face slides just a little bit less on that. It grips it a little bit better. Can really bear down on the rifle if I want to. Get a real comfortable cheek weld. Yeah, what the heck, what do you say we got 3 more in this row. We'll finish off this row. Maybe shoot these guys real quick, just have some fun. Every now and then it's good to do that. Take your hand loads out and just have some fun. Don't build bad habits, but have fun. All right, ready? Here we go. There's 11 rounds on the steel there. Very nice. Let the barrel cool a little bit and swap back over to our 6.5 and maybe change shooting positions. So we're proned out in the landscape now, as you can see here. Target's still downrange at 100 yards, and we're back to the HOWA 1500 and 6.5 Creedmoor. Got 5 rounds loaded up here. Garmin set up, everything's the same. One thing that I have noticed though with the factory stocks on some of these rifles, especially the synthetic stocks, is if you add a bipod onto the end of them and you put some pressure on it, the stock will actually flex. And if you're not careful, you can actually have that stock contact the barrel and then it's no longer free floating. So we're gonna go ahead and shoot some rounds on the steel plate down there and do it from the bipod. Far from a scientific test, but it's a lot of fun. And you gotta have fun every now and then. So without further delay, stack them on the steel. That wind is actually picked up enough that it's blowing the rifle around off the bipod. Oh, what the heck, let's throw a couple more on there. Very nice, very nice. So we're back in landscaping now, and yeah, I definitely need to level a place so I can lay prone and be level with the target, build up a little shooting platform, but this works in a pinch. Still got the target at 100 yards, Garmin set up to record. Back to the Ruger American in 223, steel plates down there. Let's have some fun. Got this loaded up with the same hand load. Put a few fast ones on. What do you say? Well, that's 10 rounds on the target, just like that. So we've got both these rifles back at the bench now, and I had a thoroughly fun time getting to shoot both these rifles. It's not very often that I get to shoot my own personal rifles, because often we're borrowing rifles from somebody we know, or borrowing rifles from the manufacturer, and we're, you know, testing new rifles, new powders. So it was a lot of fun to kind of go back and revisit some old pet loads that I had and just have fun with them. You know, that's the whole reason we do this. It's because it's fun, it's enjoyable, and having these stocks on there, it definitely makes the overall process much more comfortable. Whether I was shooting off the bench or from the prone position, the stocks were easily adjustable, and I could get a proper cheek weld, maintain good follow through, and overall the ergonomics of them are just very nice. Whether you're prone or off the bench, sometimes the grip angle, you might want a little bit different grip angle on there at the wrist of the stock. You might want to change your length of pull depending on things. So it's nice to have that adjustability in there if so desired. But overall, both these rifles perform very well. Both the stocks perform very well. One thing I will note is the HOWA here is bedded. And believe it or not, the Ruger American here is not bedded. Boyds does recommend bedding them, but I went ahead and just dry fit everything, and it seemed to fit really nice. And so I thought, before I go through the process of bedding this rifle, I'm just going to go ahead and shoot it. So I shot some Black Hills Mark 262 through it, which averaged out about 3/4 of an inch with the factory stock. And after installing the Boyd stock, I got the exact same results, 3/4 of an inch unbedded. Now maybe adding some bedding to the stock would even increase the accuracy or precision of this rifle. There's definitely some potential there. The Boyd stocks are definitely a lot more rigid than the factory stocks, this having the factory Ruger stock and this one having a Hogue stock. And one thing, and the main reason why we showed shooting prone, is because I noticed with those less rigid factory stocks, when you'd add a bipod onto these rifles here, and you start loading that bipod, or you're in an awkward shooting position, that's got some cant or some angle to it, and you're trying to compensate for that with the bipod, you'll actually induce some flex on that stock. I really noticed it while I was predator calling with this 223 using a very long bipod for the seated position, and that stock would actually flex enough to make contact with the barrel. And that is, generally speaking, not conducive to accuracy. So having a nice rigid gun stock is very nice. The fact that it has all these extra ergonomics and, you know, adjustable length of pull and all these features to it is just an added bonus for me. They ride the bags really nice, they work really well with bipods, and overall I'm really happy with the performance of both these rifles, and the addition of the Boyds stock just makes it that much better. So we hope you enjoyed this little bit different video from Handloader TV. We greatly appreciate you taking the time to watch and stick around to the end. As always, if you have any questions or comments or would like to share your own experience with Boyds stocks, be sure to leave them in the comments section below. We do our best to respond to every one of those, but I do read every single comment we get, and I appreciate those. So thank you so much. If you liked what you saw, give us a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you're notified when we post our next video. And I will catch you guys in the next episode.